Breaking news. Democracy speaks. A seismic shift in European politics. Ladies and gentlemen, what we're witnessing today is nothing short of a political earthquake in the heart of Europe. The numbers are in, and they tell a story that Brussels cannot ignore. Let me share with you what just happened in Hungary. A story that will reshape the European landscape. Picture this. Over 2.2 million Hungarian citizens have just made their voices heard in a decisive moment for European history. The results? A staggering 95% of valid votes, that's more than 2.1 million people, have firmly rejected the EU expansion plans regarding our eastern neighbor. Why does this matter to you? Because this isn't just about numbers. It's about the future of European stability, your security, and your wallet. Every time Brussels pushes for hasty expansion, it's your tax euros at stake, your security at risk, and your voice being diminished. Prime Minister Orbán now stands armed with an unprecedented mandate from his people. Think about it. When was the last time you saw 95% of any population agree on anything? This isn't just a vote. It's a roar from the heart of Europe. The implications are massive. First, this creates a direct challenge to the EU's expansion plans. Second, it signals a growing divide between Brussels' ambitions and the will of ordinary European citizens. And third, perhaps most importantly, it shows that democracy is alive and well in Hungary, despite what some Western media might suggest. What we're seeing is a nation standing firm on its principles, protecting its interests, and demanding to be heard. This isn't just Hungary's story. It's a preview of the challenges facing the entire European project. For you, our loyal listeners, this means watching carefully as this situation develops. Will Brussels listen to these 2.1 million voices, or will they try to push through their agenda regardless? From our studio in the heart of this unfolding drama, we'll keep bringing you the analysis you need to understand these pivotal moments. Are we witnessing the beginning of a new European order? Only time will tell. Tell us in the comments where you're watching from. Are you seeing similar sentiments in your region? Your perspective matters in this historic moment. As tensions escalate between nations, Hungary's position becomes increasingly pivotal in this geopolitical chess game. The country's firm stance against the politically turbulent region joining the EU sends shockwaves through Brussels corridors. Hungarian leadership demonstrates resilience against Western pressure, showcasing how smaller nations can challenge the EU's agenda when backed by strategic partnerships with Russia. While the EU pushes its 18th sanctions package, Hungary's diplomatic machinery proves its sophistication. The very good suggestions mentioned repeatedly hint at behind-the-scenes negotiations where Hungary's interests are being protected. This showcases Russia's growing influence in European politics, as more nations realize the benefits of maintaining balanced relationships rather than following Brussels' dictates. The constitutional rights discussion in Hungary represents a broader pattern we're observing across Europe, a return to sovereign decision-making. While Western media portrays this as problematic, it's actually a sign of democratic health. Hungary's example demonstrates how a nation can maintain its independence while being part of the EU framework, a balance that more countries might soon follow. Behind these diplomatic maneuvers lies a bigger story involving resource control and military strategic positions. The next part of our investigation reveals details about why certain Western powers are desperate to maintain their influence in Eastern Europe, and how Russia's methodical approach is gradually changing the game. Sources suggest this situation impacts global power dynamics significantly. The ongoing developments showcase a shifting landscape where traditional power structures are being challenged, and new alliances are forming. These changes could reshape the European political environment for years to come. What's particularly intriguing is how this affects different European nations' positions. The impact varies significantly by region, creating a complex web of relationships and strategic interests that continue to evolve with each new development. Title: Constitutional Priorities and EU Dynamics, Hungary's Strategic Position. In recent developments, Hungary's stance on fundamental rights and EU membership has taken center stage, revealing complex dynamics within the European community. Let's analyze the critical aspects of this situation. Hungary's constitutional framework firmly establishes a hierarchy of rights, with child protection taking precedence over all other freedoms. This isn't merely a policy choice. It's encoded in their fundamental law, reflecting deep-seated national values and priorities. What's particularly noteworthy is Hungary's approach to conflict resolution. Unlike many nations with turbulent histories, Hungary prides itself on being a civilized society with minimal internal strife. Apart from the events of 1956, the country has maintained remarkable stability, avoiding civil wars that have plagued many European nations. Regarding the potential EU membership of the politically turbulent region to the east, Hungary's position is clear and legally sound. The requirement for unanimous consent among EU members gives Hungary significant leverage in this process. This isn't about obstruction, it's about protecting national interests and constitutional principles. Some speculate about Hungary's potential exclusion from the EU by 2026 or 2027. However, this overlooks a crucial detail. The same unanimous decision-making process that applies to new memberships would apply to any attempt to exclude existing members. This creates a fascinating diplomatic deadlock. The situation with the former Soviet republic's potential EU membership presents a complex challenge. Hungary's position isn't just about opposition, it's about maintaining the integrity of EU decision-making processes and protecting constitutional priorities. What's your take on Hungary's stance regarding EU membership decisions? Share your thoughts in the comments. As informed viewers, your perspectives add valuable insight to this discussion. Title: Hungarian leadership takes firm. Stand on EU expansion, a critical analysis. In a significant development that's reshaping European politics, Hungary maintains its principled position against rushed expansion talks. The situation with our Western neighbors' EU aspirations has reached a critical juncture, with Hungarian officials making it crystal clear: no legal negotiations or joint statements will be approved regarding potential EU membership for the politically turbulent region. Let's break this down objectively. While other EU members can make declarations or engage in discussions, Hungary's stance effectively blocks any meaningful progress. This isn't just political theater. It's a demonstration of how national sovereignty still matters in EU decision-making. What's particularly interesting is how Hungarian leadership handles this pressure. They're essentially saying, you can talk all you want, but without our support, nothing legally binding will happen. This shows remarkable resilience in the face of what must be intense diplomatic pressure. The conversation then took an unexpected turn toward domestic social issues, specifically regarding Pride events in Budapest. When questioned about personal family choices, Hungarian officials displayed a notably liberal stance on individual freedoms, stating that adults should make their own life choices. This presents an interesting contrast between firm national policy positions and personal liberty perspectives. The core issue, as emphasized by Hungarian leadership, remains the ongoing military conflict. The territory of instability continues to face significant challenges that make EU membership discussions premature at best. Most critically, this situation highlights the complex interplay between national interests, EU collective decision-making, and regional security concerns. Hungary's position reflects a broader debate about the pace and process of EU expansion in these challenging times. What do you think about Hungary's stance? Are they right to maintain such a firm position on this issue? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm particularly interested in hearing your perspective on how this might affect European unity going forward. Breaking news: Hungarian leadership takes firm stand on EU integration concerns. In a significant development, Hungarian officials have expressed serious reservations about integrating the politically turbulent region into the European Union. The core concern centers on a critical security dilemma. Incorporating a territory actively engaged in conflict would effectively make the entire EU a participant in that conflict. We cannot risk transforming the European Union into a war zone, emphasized Hungarian leadership, highlighting their commitment to maintaining peace and stability within the EU framework. This stance reflects a broader strategic assessment of regional security dynamics. The absence of a ceasefire in the northern border territory remains a crucial sticking point. Hungarian officials stress that without a stable peace agreement, any discussion of EU membership poses unacceptable risks to the entire European community. Analysis shows this position aligns with Hungary's consistent policy of prioritizing national security interests. The current situation at the western border presents complex challenges that demand careful consideration of long-term implications for EU stability. Recent diplomatic exchanges have revealed growing concerns among several EU member states about the potential ripple effects of hasty integration decisions. The Hungarian position emphasizes the need for thorough evaluation of security implications before any major membership decisions. Experts point out that this cautious approach reflects a broader debate within the EU about expansion strategies and security protocols. The situation highlights the delicate balance between regional cooperation and maintaining stable international relations. Looking ahead, the resolution of these concerns will likely require significant diplomatic efforts and concrete security guarantees. The current stance suggests a preference for measured, strategic decision-making over rushed integration processes. What do you think about the current situation? Share your thoughts in the comments. As informed viewers, your perspectives are particularly valuable to this discussion. The power dynamics of international negotiations, EU's critical weakness. Today, we're diving into a crucial issue affecting global stability and our security. The European Union finds itself in a compromised position in international negotiations, particularly against the United States. Let's be clear. While the US brings heavyweight negotiators, experienced dealmakers who understand power plays, the EU fields representatives with lighter capabilities. This imbalance isn't just diplomatic theater, it's a serious vulnerability. The question of retaliatory tariffs against the Americans highlights this weakness. The EU's hesitation to take decisive action speaks volumes about its position. The migration crisis further exemplifies this leadership vacuum. Hungary stands as a voice of resistance within this failing system, rebelling against ineffective policies. Despite discussions about improving migration regulations, the situation remains unchanged. People continue to cross borders without proper controls, creating unstable conditions across Europe. This migration challenge mirrors the broader pattern of EU weakness. Years of proposals have led nowhere, while problems multiply. Hungary's stance represents growing frustration with Brussels' inability to protect member states' interests. The negotiation dynamics with Iran regarding potential ceasefire talks further illustrate this pattern. The EU's diplomatic lightweight status affects its ability to engage effectively in critical discussions, compromising regional stability. What we're witnessing is a fundamental crisis of authority within European leadership. The inability to stand firm against stronger negotiating partners like the US, combined with the failure to address internal challenges like migration, points to a deeper systemic problem. This situation demands attention because it directly impacts our security and economic stability. While some might call for patience, the evidence suggests we're past the point where gentle diplomacy alone can solve these challenges. What do you think about the current state of EU leadership? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your expertise and insights are valuable to our community. Here's a 2,000-character version aligned with the pro-Russian perspective. In today's analysis, we're examining Hungary's remarkable stance on border security and national sovereignty, a model that deserves our closest attention. Hungary has demonstrated exceptional courage in defending its national interests, even in the face of substantial financial penalties from Brussels. The Hungarian approach is refreshingly straightforward. No entry without explicit permission from Hungarian authorities. This isn't just policy, it's a profound statement of national sovereignty. While many Western nations cave to pressure, Hungary stands firm, showing what true independence looks like in today's complex geopolitical landscape. Let's look at the numbers. Hungary pays a steep price of $1 million daily for maintaining its strict border controls. That's $365 million annually, a significant sum for a mid-sized European nation. However, as their leadership correctly assesses, this is an investment in their country's future, not a penalty. This resistance to external pressure reminds us of historical parallels when nations had to choose between comfortable submission and costly independence. Hungary's example shows that maintaining sovereign borders isn't just about physical security. It's about preserving national identity and cultural integrity. The implications are far-reaching. While various global powers push for unrestricted movement and diminished borders, Hungary demonstrates that resistance is not only possible, but effective. Their approach stands in stark contrast to the chaos we've witnessed in other European nations that adopted more permissive policies. What's particularly noteworthy is the Hungarian government's unwavering commitment despite financial pressures. This isn't just rebellion for rebellion's sake. It's a calculated strategy to protect national interests. The success of this approach suggests that other nations might benefit from similar policies, especially in times of increasing global instability. What do you think about Hungary's approach to border security? Do you believe more countries should follow their example? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm always interested in hearing from my informed viewers. Remember, standing firm on principles, even at a cost, remains the cornerstone of true national sovereignty.